Welcome everybody to another episode of the Boxing Breakdown. We're here with some absolutely massive news. Let's be honest, that's what a lot of you are probably waiting for. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is confirmed. A 2-fight deal going to be taking place. We don't know yet. But Connor, this is massive.
Absolutely massive news for British boxing at the minute. In the state we are in, with obviously the lockdowns and everything, it's just brilliant to have something to look forward to. No venue announced as of yet, but big news.
This is a quick one today. Connor's not well. But yeah, we just thought we had to talk about this, and then next episode we'll focus on next episode's bits. But yeah, massive fight, 2-fight deal, which was expected when it's a undisputed unification fight, whatever you want to call it. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be taking place in the UK. If it is, I'm not 100% sure it's going to be in the summer, if I'm honest, either, to be honest, Connor.
No, I'm not sure when we're going to be able to fit this in, but you got to remember we are in March, so I could see a July or June fight, but I'm not bothered. It's a 2-fight deal, so I think we might have one maybe, I could see September, October, November, then maybe one, maybe 4 months later in like the March or the April or the spring of 2022.
I think I disagree to a fact there. You all right, doggy? Yeah, I think it'll be, you'll see it, if you see it in October, November. I don't think you'd see it in March. I think you'd see it in early summer.
Yeah, fair enough, but we saw the Wilder one in...
I agree, but...
Yeah, I guess it is that big that you'd need a bit of a come down.
Yeah, and don't forget the Wilder one was over a year later, Wilder Fury.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it's a massive fight. Who, in your opinion, at the moment... Well, we'll break it down before we get into stuff like that. Tyson Fury came out about this time last week, maybe Wednesday or something like that, and said that he's drinking 10 pints a day. He's not training. He doesn't. And then he said after the Isaac Law fight, which was a fairly good fight, actually. We'll speak about that on the full episode coming soon. He said that... What did he say again? He said that he could drink 10 pints a day, untrained, and still give AJ a good hiding.
Yeah, I think he's just pulling our leg a bit. I think he's taking the mick, to be honest.
Yeah, and that made that a lot of people won't be happy with him doing that. But for me, the thing that I'm looking at from here, the fight has been confirmed. Yes, we still don't know whether there still might be another fight in between. Then Tyson might have signed the contract, but he still might say if that's been signed for October, he still might have a fight in the summer, whenever. So. We don't know about that yet, but for me, I still would have liked to see Tyson have a fight pre-AJ, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if we're talking maybe summer, which is going to be difficult, that means if he has to have a fight in between, which I can't see him being able to do. Let's say this fight's in June. He last fought last February, so 1 year and 4 months out. He's got, the first 3 rounds I feel like might be difficult. I know ring rust isn't a massive thing, but it could be.
I disagree. I agree to an extent, but I could see it being the first few rounds are great for Fury, and then being out the ring in the later rounds, you'll see him tire.
Yeah, but do you not think with AJ being so muscly and all the blood trying to pump around his body, do you not think he'll get tight? His stamina's not Fury's level.
I'm not sure what AJ will go in as muscly. I think he'll go in. He'll still be muscly. It's his build, but I think we might see a more lean AJ because I think you have to be fast to land on Fury, and I think we'll see AJ who tries to come in the best technical AJ we'll ever see. I've seen somewhere on Instagram that people saying that Fury's going to be the aggressor and we're going to see AJ do what he done to Andy Ruiz. But for me, I don't think that. I think you're more likely to see AJ come out the aggressor, AJ wanting to swing, AJ wanting to go toe to toe with Fury. I think we'll see Fury being the one moving about the ring, using a lot of energy, using a big jab.
Yeah, I think if they both go to be the aggressive, it could become an absolute massive fight. But if Fury does become the aggressor, I think he might do what he did against Wilder and try and box the first time, but then the second time, come a bit more forward, see how he gets there. I just don't think AJ can stay away from Fury for 10 to 12 rounds.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you can stay off Fury for 10 rounds. But I do think Fury could possibly stay off AJ for 12 rounds.
Yeah, I think AJ is easier to stay away from Fury when they're aggressive because Fury's just such a big build.
But for me, the worry will be for a Fury fan. I think it'll be the later rounds. I think from what you've seen, I don't think Fury necessarily tires, but he definitely slows down. We've seen him get caught to Wilder, inactivity, whatever. If we do see an inactive Fury go in, I would worry that in the later rounds he could slow down. And whether you think AJ is a good enough fighter to end a fight in 1 round against a slow fighter, I think he is. I think AJ is very good. But you look at it on the inside, I think AJ, the speed of Ruiz, which I wouldn't say Fury is as fast as Ruiz, but he's got the better, longer reach than AJ. I think on the inside it could also be a risky game for AJ.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like if Fury is going to be the aggressor, because I think that's what he's got to do, because I don't think he can last them 12 rounds with AJ. I think he might have to be the aggressor, because we only see him go 7 rounds with Wilder, but he started to properly tire, but the only thing keeping him going was that momentum of knocking and hurting Wilder to pieces. If you know what I mean.
Yes, but at the same time, I totally get what you mean. I think AJ would start to tire, though.
100%.
We don't fully know because we've never seen AJ fight someone as fast and as big and as strong as Fury, who will sap the energy out of you. It's interesting because there's so much styles each fighter could come in with.
Yeah, that's what makes it such a great matchup as well. We've seen him how tired he was against Vlad after in 10 rounds, was it? He got an uppercut from the gods and fair play, got him his win. But he did start to tire AJ, and Fury never really knocked off, did he? He just kept on boxing for them 12 rounds against Vlad.
Yeah, in that 12th round, he did start to get caught a bit, but if you're going off the 2 Vlad performances, which I know in boxing you can't go off, you can't say, oh, he beat this guy this way, Fury didn't knock him out. It doesn't work like that in boxing. If you go off that, I think we could easily see a Fury similar to that, but a bit faster, and I think the fans will make a big difference. I think we don't know if Fury will perform without the fans. We could either see it work for him or against him, because you could see him getting a bit drawn into a toe-to-toe battle with Anthony.
Yeah, it's going to be such a good fight, honestly. If there's something I just can't wait for, it is that fight. I think with the fans, if he does go and step in, but it depends where it is as well for me. I feel like location is massive at this time.
Don't quote me on this, but I believe in the US, fans are allowed. Is that correct?
In certain states, but I don't know what the world will be in a state by the time this fight happens.
I think we could see a summer similar to last year where restrictions go off a bit, and we didn't have fans at events last year, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it in the. I don't know if it'll be in the UK, but if it is, I won't be surprised if you see a small portion of fans there.
Well, if we're talking like June, I could definitely see us packing like 30,000 into Wembley for it. So we haven't got it completely packed out, but it's not going to be the same without them packed out.
What Wembley. I'm wondering as well, they might have to do some segregation for the fans. You know what the Fury and AJ fans are like.
Yeah, you just don't know. Like, it could. I think everyone in the way. I don't think they're going to have to do that because everyone's allowed an opinion, and I feel like in boxing, everyone respects each other's opinion in a fairly equal manner.
I totally agree, but we've never seen it. AJ's got a big, loyal fan base. So you could arguably say AJ's the best supported Brit. But you just don't know, do you? It's going to be one hell of a night of boxing. That's for sure.
But for me, I feel like Fury's fans would rather have 10,000 proper Gypsy King fans or 30,000 almost casual AJ fans who are just looking at him for his knockout, going to a fight. And honestly, I'd be backing the Fury lot.
I totally agree, but then I think you could see a lot of I don't want this to come across the wrong way. I think you could see a lot of you'll have a lot of Manchester and maybe up north supporting Tyson, and then it'll be such a great day for the full of Britain that if your guy wins, if your guy loses.
Yeah, like, you're going to look like an idiot because everyone who likes boxing has told their mates their opinions and everyone listens to each other.
Are we going to get into predictions or are we going to leave that for closer to the time.
Well, we'll talk a little bit on predictions, but when we know the fight's happening, our opinions could change.
It's hard to say because we don't know what they're coming in as the weight that's going to be a strong thing. And yes,
this is just us talking in hindsight, isn't it?
We are going to milk this. We'll be making press conference reactions. We'll be making.
Oh yes. Trust me, everyone, this is just a massive title because we need to get these titles out there. Obviously, if you are, it's only a short podcast, drop a like and subscribe. We're doing absolutely brilliant. I just want to take 30 seconds out just to say how thankful we are for that support in the Heaney podcast. I hope you have all enjoyed. Obviously, leave any suggestions on fighters you would like us to see. But back to the actual podcast. We're just going to be looking in hindsight for this. For me, I think Fury might just edge him out. What do you think, Joe?
I think that all depends. If we see 100% Fury, I think we could see Fury win. It depends what Fury you see. I do believe Fury is good enough to take the fight to AJ and possibly stop the fight. I also agree that I also think that Fury could use his boxing technique and his slip movements to win the fight.
100%. I think we can really find out how good AJ's chin really is because I'm not a massive. I don't rate it that highly. And we've seen Ruiz knock him down.
Then people challenge Fury's chin as well. As much as we like Fury, we need to give counter arguments, whether we agree with.
100%. I think if AJ catches him, he could knock him out.
Steve Cunningham's tested his chin. Wilder's put him down twice, but Wilder, you know what I mean.
100%.
But the thing that I think. Fury might not have the best chin. I'm not saying he doesn't have a good one. I'm just saying he might not have the best chin, but he's got a fucking good ass.
Yeah, nothing's going to stop that bloke until that 10 count comes in. I think Joshua can knock him out, but it's a fact, will he actually catch him? I think there will be a lot of big punches thrown.
I think he might. I think both fighters might.
Honestly, I just can't wait.
I think both fighters might be cautious as well.
Yeah, the fear of losing. I know AJ's already lost, but he doesn't want to lose again. He doesn't want to lose all his belts, which he's worked so hard for.
It'll be a bigger win for Fury than AJ, in my opinion. Having an undefeated, undisputed British king, that is something completely different that AJ couldn't do because he has lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but for me, mate, I completely disagree. I feel like Fury's been wrote off so many times. AJ has been this hyped up, I know he's not young anymore, but he was this young up-and-coming lad. He had like 20 knockouts in 20 fights. He had everything at his feet. Sky were milking him. Sky is still using him. JD used the hell out of him. And if he gets beat to this Gypsy King, I don't feel like the Ruiz fight is talked about enough in his resume.
I disagree. I think if you said this 3 years ago, yes, I agree. But they don't see Fury as a big Gypsy that he was seen before the Klitschko fight anymore. He's seen as a worldwide superstar. Fiddle goes in, puts brilliant boxing shows on. I don't think it's that same Fury that you would like Vlad faced. I think it's a completely different way people see Fury now. And I just hope we see Fury put his head down, train like he did for Deontay, come off social media a bit. He was on it obviously a bit, but not as much as he was. He
came off it recently, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's. I watched the documentary thing that was on last year. I can't quote for quote because it was last year. Didn't record it obviously, but something to do with his brothers were saying he was getting a bit caught up in the
hype train of himself.
Yeah.
Which is very easy to be done, I'm sorry. When you're that high of a superstar, to get caught up in your own hype. And I think maybe if he does just keep this step away, I think lockdown, it helped him. And I think it gives him a better mental health balance for himself.
Yeah.
To not have all these social medias. I think he should he does his talking in the ring. Obviously, he does his mind games, and it just makes him such a better fighter to watch. But I think he does his talking in the ring. He comes off, then he can do his social media stuff. But I think if he just takes a break, gets back, I think he still is training. But if he just trains really hard, but they both put everything they have, every last ounce of their body weight into this training, and it'll be such a good fight.
But yeah, so you think at the moment in time you're favouring Tyson Fury?
Yes, but I'm talking like 70, maybe even 65-35. It's like really close.
For me, I'm favouring Fury about 70-30 maybe. I think it's where I do this whenever you really, really, really like a boxer and the fight's get announced. You do start to feel like You don't want him to lose. You know what I mean? You don't.
Right, listen, right. I am really nervous. I would love Fury to win. I've even got a £50 bet on someone over this. So, you can't. I do back him, but I am a bit nervous. I don't want him to get caught.
You just don't
we are
know, do
Fury
you?
fans here. We rate AJ, but it's like two of your favourite boxers, but you've always got to have a favourite, and he is just our favourite. I can speak for Joe on that behalf as well, I feel.
Yeah. I've got another argument about the Joshua fight.
Mm-hmm.
And whether Wilder's better than Joshua, which... Sorry, meeting.
No problem.
I just completely forgot one of the podcast before much in, but yeah. You're going to see a lot more videos like this on the build-up to the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you want, predictions, guests to just speak truly on this event.
We'd love to get some boxers on to speak about it as well. We're going to be messaging loads of people, some people close to the fighters, and see if we can get any inside info.
It's going to be absolutely brilliant. We suggest you subscribe, stay along.
Trust us. Listen, when you hear me and Joe telling you that you should subscribe, you should probably listen, because the content we are going to be rolling out over the next 6 months. If you look at the fights coming up, we're doing two podcasts this week practically.
We're just awesome, aren't we?
We just are brilliant.
Hope you enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, comment, do all that shit.
You know the score, everyone. Thank you for coming on this pod.
Now. Come on.
Let's go. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next pod. Goodbye.